YouTube world. Hello, YouTube family. How are you doing? How are you feeling? I hope that you are feeling... Wait, eyelash. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Anywho, hello. How are you guys doing? I hope that you're having an awesome and amazing day. Before I start this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Share, do what you have to do. It is a must. No, I'm kidding, it's not a must. But if you like me, if you like hearing all of my crazy experiences, story times, please subscribe. I will have so much more. I wanted to talk about the D&C experience, or my D&C experience, because I know a lot of women go through it, and a lot of women, it's not talked about as much when you have a pregnancy. Everybody is, ooh, the baby, and oh, I can't wait, and I can't do this, but nobody really talks about the negative side of having a baby. So, I found out I was pregnant March 18th, 19th. How I found out I was pregnant was, well, I didn't even know I was pregnant. I had actually recently, I took a trip to Texas, and only thing I could remember was just sleeping a lot. But I thought because I worked a lot and it was my vacation, I was like, oh, well, I'm just really tired. My boyfriend currently, he had asked me, he's like, so like, when are you gonna get your cycle? And I'm like, I don't know, I should get it, Monday, one of these days it's coming. I wasn't paying, I didn't give it any thought. Got home from work, took the pregnancy test, and it was positive. Oh, okay. I was like, well, I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't hoping for it. I mean, we weren't trying, like, let's just get this out the way. We weren't trying, not that we don't want one, but we just weren't trying. I took 2 pregnancy tests, actually. I took 2 that same night. They both came back positive. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'm definitely pregnant. The pregnancy, my cravings weren't like crazy. Like, I know some women have pickles and ice cream and just all types of, I don't want to say weird, because when you crave something, you crave it and you want it and it tastes good. But I was not craving anything serious, anything heavy. I was just pretty chill. I was still working. Mind you, I have had 2 previous miscarriages in a previous relationship in the past. But I went to my doctor as soon as I found out, and she just told me, hey, everything looks great. You're healthy. Continue to work. Don't overwork yourself, but continue to work, continue to live your daily life. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Y'all, this one eyelash is gonna blow me. I done had these lashes on for a minute, so excuse my lash. D&C experience featuring eyelash, okay? So yeah, the pregnancy went on like a normal pregnancy. It wasn't anything that was out of the ordinary. I did start to have pain. I should go back. When I went to my doctor, I was already 4 weeks, which a woman always, the average is between 4 to 6 weeks when a woman actually finds out that she's actually pregnant. I was already 4.5 weeks. Yeah, I was 4.5 weeks. So everything was going great. I mean, I was working. I did cut down my hours because I didn't want to overextend myself. I work in the home healthcare field, if people want to know. So everything was fine. I was just very tired. I was sleeping. I mean, I could eat something and I'm asleep. Like, I was knocked out. Like, I was knocked out for the rest of the night. And days where I didn't feel like going to work, I just didn't. My job understood and how I was high risk. So I didn't go if I didn't feel like it. Cut into March. At this time, not into March, Lord Jesus, in April, April 1st, I started to have a little pain, but it wasn't anything extraordinary. It wasn't anything that would have made me want to go to the hospital. And, you know, I'm like, well, it's contracting. My body is changing, so it's going to hurt. Around that second week, I started to get a little bit more pain than usual. But again, I was not spotting. I was not bleeding. My gynecologist was like, hey, you aren't bleeding. You're not spotting. You're not doing anything. This is just your body changing. So I didn't put a thought to it. Cut to 8 weeks. You know, you get your 8-week ultrasound. It's the first ultrasound you could possibly hear the heartbeat. You could possibly couldn't, or I'm all over the place today. Excuse me. So me and my boyfriend, we went to the ultrasound appointment, and I get in the inside, and the nurse, you know, she's like, did you drink enough water and stuff like that? And I'm laying on the table. I'm like, yeah, I drank water. It probably wasn't enough, but I drank water, which is my fault. And she kept looking at the monitor, and she kept looking at me. She kept looking at the monitor. She kept looking at me. And I was like, why does she keep looking at me? Like, why does she keep looking at me? So she's like, well, can you go to the bathroom and use the bathroom, empty your bladder? So I went, used the bathroom. Mind you, I had no blood, no spotting, no heavy, nothing that would have made me go to the hospital. So we come back, and she's pressing on my stomach. I mean, she's pressing. And I'm like, should I be worried? And she's like, oh no, so and so, I'm just having a hard time finding, you know, because I didn't know at the time the sex. I didn't know the sex at the time. And she's like, oh, I can't find he or she. You know, if you didn't drink enough water, it's going to be kind of hard for me to find her and stuff like that, yada, yada, yada. So she had me push on my left side. She's like, can you push down for me? And she's still searching and looking. I mean, like, I was getting paranoid. So she finally tells me, hey, I can't see anything. I'm not saying that there is nothing there. I'm not saying that, she's like, I'm not saying she's like, I'm not going to say anything that is going to scare you. She's like, she's like, I just don't know. She said, he or she could be there. They just could be hiding. I really don't know. So I told my boyfriend, of course, and I was extremely worried because that's the last thing I wanted to hear. I mean, I was in my 8th week. I mean, I was almost at the end of that first trimester. So cut to 3 days later, I go back to my OB. She's my OB and my gynecologist. Just to let y'all know, it's not 2 different people. She was like, I can't see anything from what they sent me over through ultrasound, but you are not bleeding, you are not cramping, you are not showing any signs of miscarriage. So therefore, I am going to give you 2 weeks. And after that, we could go back to the ultrasound. So I said, okay. Maybe 3 days after that, I got the worst pain of my life. It hurt so bad. The physical pain, it hurt. I mean, it knocked me to my knees. And immediately, and I still was not bleeding. I called the hospital. I called the emergency room, and she said that, well, are you pregnant? And I said, well, yes, but I'm not bleeding, and it's just severe cramps. And she said, well, maybe you're contracting your bones, and you're contracting, your body is changing. And I told her, I said, no, this is something else. This hurts. And she said, okay, well, come to the hospital and we'll see what we can do. So I get there. It was like 11 o'clock at night. It was late. And it's me and my mom and my boyfriend were there. And I mean, I am in excruciating pain. It is going from my back to my stomach to my area. It's all over. I mean, my entire body was just out of it. Go get tested. The the pregnancy test, and they do the vaginal ultrasound to check you. And the moment she put it in, it just hurt. It just hurt. And so we waited for our labs. We waited. The doctor finally pulls us in a private room, and she says, I'm sorry, but you have suffered a miscarriage. She said that it's very hard to tell because you aren't bleeding, which I still to this day, I did not bleed. Naturally, I didn't. It was very devastating, not for me, but only for my family in general, my boyfriend. We were all looking forward to it. And it was just very hard. So 4 days passed after that, and I'm still not bleeding. Like I'm not bleeding. And my doctor, she called me, my OB called me, and she said, because you are not releasing the fetus naturally, you have to either do a pill. I don't know the name. Please do not kill me. I cannot remember the name. Or she said you can either do surgery, which is the D&C. And she said, but if you do the D&C, I can send over fragments and stuff to the fertility specialist. So I said, well, I kind of want to know why this keeps happening to me. So me and my boyfriend were pretty curious. So we did it. And that, I had made the appointment on that Tuesday. And then the next following Tuesday was the surgery. Getting there, getting prepared for the surgery, you can't eat after a certain time, can't eat or drink after a certain time. We get there, we check us in, they check me in. I have to do COVID testing. They did COVID testing way before I had even took off my clothes. You have to sign the fetal disposition letter, which is, it's very hard. It's very disheartening. It's not something you want to ever sign. It's not something that you want to do for a child that you've been wanting to have. And they get me in, they get me all set up, and they put me in the bed, and they tell me exactly what's going to happen. They give me the anesthesia. First they gave me some type of anesthesia to calm my nerves, because this was my first surgery ever in my entire life. So I was really jittery, and they gave me something through my IV, and it just relaxed me. It was some type of anesthesia. It was just very relaxing. It just made me, I didn't go to sleep yet, but it just made me calm. When I got inside of the operating room, oh my God, it looked like the movies. I was like, wow, like this really looks like it, like the really mint green color walls. And I was like, oh wow. So they asked me, how was I feeling? How was I doing? Was I doing okay? It's my first surgery, just talking to me, making me feel comfortable. The anesthesiologist came in, and she gave the anesthesia to me through my IV. Next thing I know, I was out. The surgery was about an hour, but to me, it felt like I took a 30-minute nap. I was bleeding, but it was not a lot. It was very minimal, but the pain was there. I mean, it was there. And I can tolerate pain, but that pain I could not tolerate. The first thing I asked for when I came to it was medicine. That was the first thing I said. They brought me back into the recovery room, and I was in the recovery room for about an hour or two. I was dozing in and out. I was not still bleeding as heavy as I was in like past miscarriages. The bleeding was very minimal. It looked like a regular period. But as time went on, I came home, took some medicine. They gave me ibuprofen, Tramadol, and that was pretty much it. And the ibuprofen I had already had. They just gave me an extra order. The Tramadol was to relax my muscles, you know, to relax it. Yeah. After that, I came home the same day. I didn't stay overnight. The entire procedure was from 5 in the morning to 12 p.m. That's pretty much all I got. After that, I did have issues. I had caught an infection due to me losing. It was like at one point I wasn't losing any blood, and then at another point I was losing so much blood to where I was cold, I was shivering, I was in excruciating pain. I mean, the pain woke me up. It woke me up out of my sleep. The shower couldn't, it was just very painful, but I had caught an infection, which is one of the risks of having a D&C, that you can get an infection. That's not anything new. And they tell you, you know, they talk about these different things, and, you know, they tell you everything. But I had to get on another antibiotic medicine. So I was taking the Tramadol plus the ibuprofen plus the antibiotic medicine. And I was taking that like 2 times a day. So a heating pad and the bed and some hot tea was my best friend. Literally. I bled after the surgery for about a week. About a week straight. It's very painful. It's not something that I wish on my worst enemy. It takes you through the loops. It makes you wonder about a lot of things. But I'm still here. I'm healthy. It is something that it is triggering to some sort. But my D&C experience was not that bad. I mean, compared to, I've had women in my family who've been through the same thing, and the symptoms that I was having were the same symptoms that they were having. So like, you'll be fine. Just give it a couple of days and yada, 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 stuff like that. It was more of a mental thing. Y'all, this eyelash, I'm so sorry. It was more of a mental thing for me. I did get depressed, and that just simply because of the surgery, simply because of me losing a child, well, losing my baby girl. After that, they sent over skin, and they sent over the remains, and it was a girl, and I knew it was a girl. I had the name picked out. I'm not telling all the name because I still plan on using the name one day. It was just a lot mentally because it would have been the first girl, and it was just a lot. It was a lot. I got really bad anxiety from it. I got really bad, just triggering just things from it. I still can't go to baby showers, and I know people who have invited me to their baby showers, and I'm like, yo, I am so sorry. Like, I wish you the best, but I simply just can't do it right now. But other than that, my D&C experience was okay. I mean, if all you really need is ibuprofen and maybe some Tylenol, and you'll be fine. Like, that first day, you're so tired from the anesthesia, you don't even know what's happening. Like, I was so tired. It's like I came home and slept all night. But yeah, that was pretty much it of my D&C experience. I know it wasn't very detailed. I'm not one to talk about all of the things that happen in my private life, but just know that I am healthy. Everything is good to go. And maybe one day I'll be willing to try again. Maybe, but not right now. But I thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you want to hear more stories, if you want to hear more experiences, please. I love to talk. I love to talk about the crazy things that has happened in my life. And I've had a lot of pretty crazy stuff happen in the past 2 years. So I have a lot of stories. But thank you guys again. I appreciate you for listening and coming and visiting my channel. Hope that you guys have a blessed day, a blessed week, and I will see y'all later. Bye.